Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
This is UMAR for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. It's fight week this Saturday, even Sunday night. I keep saying Saturday. I'm joined by trainer Jamie Moore. Busy week for you, of course. Aqib Fiaz. Let's start with him. Of course, I've talked to you about this fight before with Baker recently, but it just feels much bigger because of all the drama that's happened before.
Yeah, I always say I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and it has made the fight bigger in terms of the publicity, what he's got and stuff like that. He was always a good fight initially anyway, but it seems to have gathered more momentum because of what happened before. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's never easy when you peak for a fight and then having to sort of plateau and follow it through for 5-6 weeks down the line. But I think experiencing maybe doing it myself as a fighter in the past has helped me manage it a little bit with Aqib, and we held him back, made sure he didn't overdo it, overcook it. Kept his weight down nice and thingy, so his body's more settled there now. So and it's the sharpest I've seen him. So in a strange sort of way, it could be a blessing for us.
Had so much time in camp now. Essentially had 2 camps for this fight, so I'm not surprised he's sharper. He must look on point.
He's sharp, but he's a sponge, and he's young. He's still evolving as a fighter, and he's still developing and improving, but in massive strides as well, because he's surrounded by good fighters and he's picking up stuff all the time. And because he's so committed and dedicated, you can see big improvements within like a week or two. So even since the fight got cancelled last time, I've seen improvements. And I know Kane's going to be right on it, and he's up for it, and you can see in his demeanour, he's in great shape. You can see he's healthy. So that's a good thing, because I know we're going to get the best version of him, and it'll take someone to bring the best out in Aqib of that calibre, because if he's not up for it and he's not fit and he's not a good fighter, Aqib's going to walk right through you. So I'm glad that even at this early stage, he's going to be in there with someone who's going to test him, push him, make him bring out the best in him. And I think it's going to be a great fight, and I think you'll see a really good performance from Aqib.
Also, Chantelle Cameron, just tell me about her opponent. We spoke off camera a little bit. Just tell the viewers, obviously, probably not going to be too aware of who Chantelle's fighting.
Yeah, so don't ask me to pronounce her name because I'm terrible.
That's why I didn't either.
But watching her on video, there's not that much footage of her. But what I've seen of her, she can punch, she's strong. But in terms of skill set, work rate, Chantelle is above and beyond. And I think she'll cause problems for Chantelle in the first 2 or 3 rounds. But I feel that Chantelle's pressure, work rate, hand speed is a big one for me. And I think she'll really go through the gears after about 3 or 4 rounds, and yeah, I think we'll see a new world champion from Britain.
Okay, if that is the case, what do you think happens for her next in terms of perhaps a domestic clash as well?
Well, obviously the fight anyone around that weight division wants is the Katie Taylor fight. She's regarded as the best fighter in the world, probably any weight division in female boxing, and Chantelle's always said that she'd love the opportunity to box her. If that can happen, what time frame Katie Taylor's got, I don't know. But I know Chantelle would love that opportunity, and I think it's a great fight for British boxing fans. So first and foremost, let's get Sunday. Let's get the world title one. But I know for the fact, if that fight could be made for Chantelle, that'd be amazing.
And best of luck with the pair of them this Sunday night. Just go back to Josh Taylor's win the other night. Of course, that has implications for your guy, Jack Catterall, who's mandatory for Jose Ramirez. I spoke to Bob Arum last week, and he's insistent that undisputed fight happens next between Taylor and Ramirez. Nothing gets in the way. Have you spoke to Jack about this, and what do you know from MTK regarding Jack's next fight and future?
We don't know anything more at this moment in time. We understand that negotiations are ongoing regarding which fight next Ramirez is going to push for. Obviously, from Bob Arum's point of view, it makes sense for him to make Ramirez versus Josh Taylor, because they're both his fighters. From our point of view, it would make sense for Jack Catterall to fight for the world title, because he's been waiting for so long. From MTK's point of view, maybe it makes sense to allow Ramirez to fight Josh Taylor. Maybe Jack would be compensated in some sort of way, and then depending on who comes through, then Jack could fight the winner. So there's a few different scenarios. My ideal scenario was that Jack Catterall gets his shot, which he's waited a long time for. So I'm hoping that happens. I know both Ramirez and Josh Taylor want the fight, but I sort of get the impression they both want it while there's a crowd there, and that might mean that they wait until early next year, which in turn then that might mean that Jack gets his shot at Ramirez. So we'll see. I know that there's negotiations going on at the moment, so we'll just wait and see what happens.
Of course, if Jack gets some step-aside money and then gets a shot at the WBO, it's likely that whoever wins that Taylor-Ramirez fight will go up to 47. So Jack, if he has to wait, it'll probably be a vacant title shot, won't it?
Yeah, and that's not what we want, because winning a world title is great, but you never want to win a vacant title because it sort of takes the prestige from it. So I don't want that to happen for him. I'm hoping, just say the scenario unfolds that Ramirez fights Taylor and then Taylor wins. I would want Jack Catterall to fight Taylor, because I know he's a great fighter, he's undisputed champion, and I would want him to fight the best and challenge the best. And I'm hoping from Taylor's point of view that he would hang around for one more fight, just to give the British fans an undisputed fight from two people from Britain. So, but listen, Josh Taylor's got his own path, and I respect that. But so is Jack Catterall, and first and foremost, I want Jack to get his shot, which he's rightly earned, as soon as quick as possible.
At Josh Taylor's fight, I caught up with your guy Carl Frampton. He's saying to me that fight with Jamal Herring will happen next, even though there's been rumours of Herring and Shakur Stevenson happening. But then Herring signed with MTK, so perhaps that brings it closer. From what you know, Herring Frampton, that is going to be next, Jamie?
Yeah, everything what I've heard is they're still looking at maybe doing it in December, but if not, then probably end of January, early February, because of the cut. So just got to wait and see. But apparently Herring has said that the cut will be fine for towards the end of December. So yeah, but I know there was rumours about maybe potentially looking for Shakur Stevenson, but all the noise what I'm hearing is that Frampton will fight him.
Right, that's good to hear. Just moving away from this fight week and your fighters, just get your thoughts on a potential bizarre fight. Two bizarre fights. Let's start with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Logan Paul.
Come on, please. I mean, it was bad enough two YouTubers fighting on pay-per-view, which is fine from my point of view, because I just think that's your own audience, crack on with it. It doesn't surprise me that Floyd Mayweather's pricked his ears up when he sees the sort of money that YouTubers are earning from boxing, and he thinks, I'll sort of jump in on that. He went to, where did he go? Japan, and fought a kickboxer for whatever, sort of $40 million or whatever. So, listen, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want, but if you're asking my opinion on do I agree with it, absolutely freaking not, no.
I think a lot of boxing fans have that attitude. It took them a while to come around to the YouTube thing, but when it is two YouTubers, it's the same level, just having a scrap, earning a lot of money. But this is like one of the greatest ever a YouTuber.
It doesn't make sense. And then obviously you then get people like KSI chipping in going, well, hang on a minute, I beat it, so I deserve that shot, because they all know the amount of money what Floyd Mayweather generates, and Floyd Mayweather knows the amount of money what YouTubers generate. So it's a match made in heaven in terms of people who go out there seeking money. But keep some dignity, man.
What about Pacquiao McGregor?
Do you know what? That's nowhere near as bad, because even though McGregor's comes from an MMA background, and even though people think that he'd done himself credit in a sort of way against Mayweather was in first gear. But Manny Pacquiao's getting old now, and McGregor's naturally much bigger, but you'd have to say so that's that's a sort of fight what intrigues me. Not a YouTuber. It does. No,
Pacquiao McGregor intrigues you?
Pacquiao McGregor sort of intrigues me. Yeah, because of the stage they're at, and even though I don't think McGregor did great against Mayweather, he certainly didn't embarrass himself. And I know Manny Pacquiao's not a fighter he was. So even though it's not a boxing match where I think, oh, that's going to be really competitive. I mean, it intrigues me in the. I just want to see what happens. I
thought you meant from a competitive standpoint.
No, just in a weird sort of way. Just what I'm intrigued to see what happens. But Where do you stop with it? That's the thing. Where do you stop? Next minute you'll have a charity match with me fighting Nigel Travis, and I'll not fuck out of him.
On that note, Jamie Moore, best of luck with Chantelle and AHMED this Sunday night. We'll catch word after. All right.
Cheers, mate.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.